What if I told you there was a show out there full of gay characters? Not only was it full with gay characters, but those gay characters were funny. And those characters weren't stereotypes. They weren't made for representation's sake. They have no reason to be gay. They just are gay. What if I told you they were a family? There's a show where there's a family of gay characters who all live under the same roof. They're not gay for any particular reason. They're funny, they're interesting, and they're all completely dumb and horny all the time. Well, this show exists. This show is called What We Do in the Shadows. It's been out for 5 seasons, and it's incredible. When it originally starts, all the characters are just kind of dumb. They're not outwardly gay, but they do seem a little gay. As the story progresses, they become gayer and gayer as it goes, to the point where they throw an entire pride parade. But it is so horrible and ridiculous that it doesn't matter that it's a pride parade. When the show begins, it's just a parody. It's just a bunch of different characters that are jokes. What if a group of vampires lived together and it was just like regular everyday life? What if they were all just a bunch of idiots and they had all their own little issues? And how could that be funny? So we have Laszlo and Nadia, who have been together forever, and you can kind of immediately tell Laszlo was a dumb loser and Nadia killed him and turned him into a vampire. And now they're just kind of still together. And Nandor is this relentless maniac who ruled an entire country and doesn't really understand the world anymore. And Colin Robinson is just kind of an asshole. And the 4 of them live together in this sort of perfect harmony of dementia, where they're all ancient and they've lived for all these years, and they just kind of go through the motions. But there's one character in the show that is constantly changing, and that character is Guillermo. Guillermo starts out as their familiar. He's in a codependent relationship with Nandor where he is obsessed with him and wants to be turned into a vampire because of this romance and obsession with the gay romance of previous vampire movies like Interview with a Vampire, where he just wants some big strong man to bite him in the neck and make him live forever. He doesn't like the murder, he doesn't like any of the reasons to be a vampire. He's just in it for the romance, so he'll do whatever he needs to do to get that. And as the story progresses, he learns more about himself. He learns that his family are a long line of vampire hunters, that he is a Van Helsing deep in his roots, that his literal blood repels vampires, that he is a natural at killing and dispatching them. And he only uses these skills to further Nandor's strength, to help him grow, because all that really matters to him is serving Nandor. And Nandor never gives him the time of day. And it's all this will they, won't they type thing, but you never think it's going to happen. You'd never expect them to actually go along with it. But as the story progresses, he keeps getting closer and closer to finally becoming a vampire, becoming one of the group. And this group are just a bunch of weirdos. They're all unbelievably pansexual to the point where it's not even a joke anymore, where it's just what they are. At first, it seems like it's funny because they'll sleep with anyone. But as you watch it, the more you start to relate to them and connect to them, and the more you think about how that's not really the point. The joke is that they're idiots, and that they just happen to all be immortal pansexuals who will just have sex with anyone. It's not really the point of their character, it's just a part of who they are, which is really beautiful. But Guillermo's sexuality is important to his character. He's slowly accepting who he is, and eventually he comes out and he gets a boyfriend and a life, and he moves on from the familiar life. He even goes behind his master's back and becomes a vampire on his own, betraying him in the process. And he does get what he wants. He gets to become a vampire. You know, the transformation is slow and his powers are broken and weird because he is part Van Helsing, so his blood is repelling this part of himself. But truly all Guillermo really wants is acceptance. And by the end of the 5th season, he gets that. The group turn him into a vampire, and they give him the choice. Does he want to be human again, or does he want to be a vampire truly? And now that he has it, he knows that that's not really what he wants. What he really wants is to just be part of the family and just be one of the group. So they turn him human. They make him back to normal, and it's like nothing has changed. And in doing that, there's something freeing about the entire concept of the show. That ultimately, it's not really about vampires and immortals and, you know, this in-group of epic, cool people. It's just about a bunch of idiots that all live together. And they all just happen to be very, very gay. And there's something very beautiful about that. And I don't know if this video really has a point, because there are plenty of stories with gay vampires. I mean, Interview with a Vampire is a classic, and there are plenty of gay vampire characters throughout history, and various immortals that the immortality allows them to truly become bi or pan or accept their gayness. But rarely does a show have gay characters and it not be the point. Our Flag Means Death is all about being gay and the various parts of that. What we do in the shadows is almost the opposite. They are gay, and it does not matter, truly. It's just a fun bit in their character. Laszlo is promiscuous and a pig, and he'll sleep with anyone. Nandor will sleep with men, and he'll sleep with women, and the concept of even a wife has no gender to him. That he has plenty of men that are his wives as well. It doesn't matter to him. And there's something very beautiful about taking the identity out of sexuality for a little bit. I think sexuality and identity are very much linked in modern society, and they are necessary components of one another in order to navigate and exist in the world. But I think when you have unlimited power, and there is no time, and there is no end, suddenly those preconceived notions of identity and labels no longer matter, because all that matters is doing what you want, and who you want. And it doesn't become who you are, it's just what you do. And there is something very beautiful about that. I still think it's important to have a label sometimes, and some people need it, and I believe that it's important to the overall core of a person and an identity and how you fit into society. But it's nice to see a show that can ignore all that and just let people be. There's a constant debate between whether or not it should truly be okay to be gay and it not matter at all, like being a hair color, or it being an integral part of your identity. Those two things are always sort of at war. And I think it is possible to have both, and I think we do have both. But it's fun to see a show that just completely ignores all that and is just plain fun. I love What We Do in the Shadows. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I hope it goes on for 10 more seasons. I don't see them ever ending it at this point. It could end, it could not. It just is. The question is not whether or not these characters will continue to exist. The question is whether or not we'll keep recording them. And I think that's very beautiful. Anyway, I don't know what this video is. It's just me talking. But I really like that show, and I thought I'd talk about it. So I hope you enjoyed the journey with me. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Bye.